All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flippin' Friday episode numero 6, aka episode number 6. Today, we're actually experimenting with our first ever high-end gaming PC flip. It's not super high-end, definitely still affordable, but it's not one of our typical Flippin' Friday $400 to $600 builds. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I'm actually pre-recording this one. You've heard me say this multiple times already. I'm on vacation right now. This is the last pre-recorded episode. Hopefully you've been enjoying the back-to-back Flippin' Friday episode. So make sure you guys are comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, whatever you want to do, and let's make us some money with a higher than normal gaming PC flip for Flippin' Friday. Now this episode is going to be going live on New Year's Eve, I think, so hopefully you guys are all having a good holiday week so far. But back to the build right now. I paid just $909 for every single thing inside this gaming PC. We have a couple really good deals, including this motherboard and CPU combo. Hopefully you guys are ready for this one. Let's get into it. All right, so real quickly, I want to go over just the performance parts of the build, and I'll make it easy for you guys. We're going to start with the graphics card. This is the Power Color Hellhound RX 6600 XT, which is definitely a beast of a 1080p graphics card. For RAM, we have some Crucial Ballistics, a 2x8GB kit that's clocked at 3200 megahertz, and then the best deal of this entire flip today is the CPU and motherboard combo that I actually picked up on Mercari. This is the MSI B460M A Pro, and the CPU that it came with is none other than the 6-core and 12-threaded Intel i5 10400F. And then just like always, every single thing that we're about to build with today is of course linked down in the description. And before we actually start the building process, we gotta run a very quick pre-roll ad because I gotta continue paying some bills. Real quickly, I just wanted to remind you guys that today's build was indeed activated with Windows 10 like all of my PC builds and flips, and I personally use GVG Mall, which is also the sponsor of today's video. From now until the end of December, they're actually increasing our normal 18% discount all the way up to 30% off, so you can get a legit Windows 10 activated version without that nasty watermark for a really cheap price. They also have great prices on other software like Office 2021, and even game keys from platforms like Steam, Origin, and Uplay, and they even have console stuff too like PSN and Xbox prepaid cards as well. Activating that Windows 10 on your computer is super simple to do. The entire process of buying and activating takes like 5 minutes total, so make sure you click that first link down in the description, and don't forget to use discount code ZTT18 for 30% off. Okay, all right. Just like that, we're already running into a humongous issue, ladies and gentlemen. I already have to take, the hoodie's got to come off. I'm already sweating bullets. I only have a certain amount of time to record Flippin' Friday. And as soon as I unlatched the CPU holder on the motherboard, I noticed that there were some bent pins, and I definitely should have checked this. I was so excited for this deal. I actually had in the back of my mind this might have been too good to be true. So this was just a micro ATX B460 motherboard with the 10400F. I paid $170 for it on Mercari, and considering the 10400F costs anywhere from $140 to $150 just by itself, I was almost getting the motherboard for free. I was paying like 20 extra bucks for the motherboard, and I now see why. There's a couple bent pins on here with those slanted pins on some of these Intel sockets. There's just like, I'm not going to be able to fix that. So we're going to have to cut our losses here, unfortunately, and I'm running out of time. Thankfully, I do have one extra micro ATX B460 motherboard. This is the Gigabyte B460 DS3H. Picked this up used, refurbished off Newegg actually. So I'm going to have to re-tally up how much this is going to cost us. This is just something, unfortunately, that you're going to run into with flipping gaming PCs and trying to make a profit, because if you do what I do and you don't check if the products are in working shape within 3 days on Mercari, where you can just easily get a refund, you definitely should do that. If you don't do that like me, then you are going to be cutting into your profits, because I just don't have the time to be checking every single part that comes here into the studio, but that definitely costs me money. That's probably not going to apply to most people. Make sure you check the parts as soon as you receive that shipment. So we're going to continue pressing on with this build with the new motherboard. This Flippin' Friday episode is not off to a great start. I'm actually going to be making one more part swap, and I'm just now realizing I probably should have noticed this ahead of time, but this WD Blue SN550 was actually a really good pickup. I paid just $33 for this 500 gigabyte NVMe drive. However, the aesthetics of it are just an absolute eyesore. We are going to have a big CPU cooler over here that's going to cover some of it, but that blue is just sticking out like a sore thumb, and I'm definitely not liking the aesthetics of that. And you could get away with that for a super budget build, but when we're trying to put together a close to $1,000 gaming PC, you got to make sure the aesthetics are dialed in. So I'm going to just swap it out for one of my other go-tos, the Crucial P5. This one actually just cost me a few dollars more. I'll make sure to update the parts list for you guys. But yeah, we're going to swap those out because that one is going to look so much better. Remember, aesthetics over everything. So just as a quick side note, instead of using the stock Vitro white fan that goes with the tower, I'm actually using this 6-pack of up here white RGB fans, and I want all of the fans inside the case to be the same. So I'm simply just taking one of those 6 and I attached it to the V5 cooler. Absolutely no problem there. And despite a little bit of turbulence, our motherboard prep is finally complete, so it's time to move on to the power supply. And if you're in the ZTT community, then you'll definitely be recognizing this one. This is the Super Flower 650 watt fully modular tier B power supply. A bunch of us in the exclusive section of the ZTT Discord server, by the way, picked these up for just $25 on Black Friday. They were being sold for, I believe, $35 on Newegg, but it came with a $10 Newegg gift card, and you could buy as many as you wanted to pretty much and continue to get a bunch of those $10 gift cards. So $25 total for a 650 watt fully modular power supply. Yes, sir. Sign me up. All right. So cut the time lapse real quick. I just wanted to be transparent with you guys. I tried to use a different brand of cable extensions. Don't be mad, Easy DIY, but Easy DIY actually sent out those previous extensions, and I didn't notice until I was installing the cable combs that one of the pins was completely out. Now, granted, you definitely could probably fix that yourself, but for me, I don't have time to do that. And B, I sell these completed PCs over on my website, zaxtechturf.com, so I can't take any power risks, especially. So I need to get a tried and true cable extension brand like Asia Horse, like I use in every single one of my videos. I tried to use something else, man. I tried. So as you can see, not a lot is going right with this episode of Flippin' Friday, unfortunately, and I don't expect the problems to stop anytime soon, because why would they? But it is now time to get out the case because we are done with our power supply and motherboard prep. And this is not a typical PC flipping case. This is the DeepCool Macube 110, I believe, and it's a micro ATX, very, very clean gaming PC case. I've used this before, but you are going to be losing some brownie points for potential buyers because you don't have a front airflow panel. Now you do have a decent amount of airflow here on the side, which is perfectly fine for somebody like me, but we do have the full clean PSU shroud, and honestly for $62 it's going to look very beautiful and clean. Like I said, we of course are going to have to use our own fans, which are these up here white RGB fans, which will populate all around the case. We'll probably put some up front, up at the top, and then some at the rear, and we'll definitely uninstall these Molex black fans in there. So that's what we're up to now. Hopefully things turn around with this flip, but I don't know, man. I'm not feeling too confident about this one. Right, here we go. Despite the many complications in this build, it's actually, hopefully, 100% complete. This is what it's looking like with the power off, which is honestly amazing already. Let's hit the power button and see if all of our fans and RGBs are spinning. Oh my goodness, I think they are. The reason why I'm getting underneath here is because this Power Color Hellhound graphics card is specifically only light blue for the RGB, and I know that these white up here fans have a very nice light blue. So let's check this out real quick. There it is! Oh my goodness! It looks so good! I can't believe it! After all those complications, I'm so happy with how this turned out. And going back to that SSD, that would have looked super stupid with like a dark royal blue there. So having that with the Crucial P5 looks so much better. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looks like. I'm so happy with how this one turned out. So here you have the extremely modified parts list. We're definitely going a bit over the original $909 total, which is what I thought I was going to be spending on this build. Had to spend a little bit of extra money on the aesthetics of the SSD. We swapped out some cable extensions, and the major change of this was indeed that motherboard. So definitely spending a little bit more. I'm still going to try to sell this build at $1,200, which is going to be over $200 in profit. With a more expensive build like this for flips, you definitely have a little bit more wiggle room, especially with something like a 6600 XT, which I didn't have to pay a ton for because I bought that off Newegg. So this is what it's looking like. Not a bad profit margin yet again for Flippin' Friday episode numero 6. And then just like always, I had Sam whip up a quick 10 game benchmarking run, and here are the results. Obviously the 10400F and 6600 XT are going to handle 1080p gaming just fine. You could definitely crank most of these titles up to 1440p as long as you're able to wiggle around the settings a little bit. But here are the results nonetheless, looking pretty good for a sub $1,000 gaming PC here in very late 2021. And then hopefully you guys enjoyed this slightly higher end build for Flippin' Friday. Make sure you let me know down in the comment section with that baller emoji. That way I know you watched until the very end. If you prefer a slightly higher end build like this for Flippin' Friday, or if you want me to go back to the normal like $400 to $600 build price range. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking. As always, this build will be sold over on my website, zaxtechturf.com. Feel free to go over there if you want to see it being sold, and hopefully one of you guys can snatch it up. And then finally, if you guys haven't caught up on Flippin' Friday, this is episode 6, so I hope you watched all 5 of the other videos, so feel free to check those out. As always, thank you guys very much for watching today's video. I'm going to be back from vacation any day now. By the time you're seeing this video, actually might be home by then, I'm not really sure. But either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Feel free to click the playlist that's on the screen now to catch up on the other eps. I will see you guys in the next one.